How's it going, guys, and welcome to this early access look at the Queen and the Crone DLC. In this 1v1 match, we're going to have a showdown between the Warriors of Chaos led by Kolek Sound Eater and the High Elves who are going to be led by Teclis. So let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So my initial assessments after seeing the Ever-Chosen Invitational and playing a couple quick battles myself is that the meta is just so shaken up. I wanted to actually make a tier list. I know a couple people had been asking for that, but after the new RORs have come back, so for anyone who hasn't noticed, the 30th anniversary Regiments of Renown are back for Chaos here. So you can see I do have the Demon Spew out here on the far side, as well as the Summoners of Rage. So these guys are incredibly powerful. And even more so, since there was a bit of a buff to Chain Lightning and Vortex spells a little while back, I think it was somewhere in Game 2. But regardless, these guys are just so darn powerful. So I look forward to showing these guys off. But regardless, it's quite a bit of fun. I feel like a lot of good balancing changes were made. And just the Giant Slayers on the Dwarves. And even though they lost Tormentor's Sword, I still feel like they got a lot of nice changes as well. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at this match. So I'm going to be facing off against High Elves, as I said, led by Teclis. And don't worry, guys, there's going to be games showing off Alariel, the Shadow King, just all kinds of stuff like that. So stay tuned, and it looks like there are a lot of RORs over there. So in the front line, I do have some Chaos Marauders on the outside and a couple of groups of Chosen. So Chosen have always had a bit of a good niche against the High Elves. They can crush like most of their infantry. I'm pretty sure they trade efficiently with Swordmasters, especially if you provide them a little bit of magical support, but just a powerful unit. And you can see right now, even with a couple chevrons, 50, 49, and 50. That is huge. Chaos Warriors, Chosen, just a fairly standard front line. As you guys can see, I did put my Marauders on the outsides to deal with skirmishers and just take that initial brunt of damage. And Demon Spew. So these are the it looks like they're Nurgle afflicted Forsaken, but they are really good. Incredibly high stats, 46 melee attack, 64 weapon strength is pretty insane, but what makes them really nice is the Swarm of Flies. So whenever they're near or fighting in a blob, they're going to really kind of be, I don't know if I would say like a force multiplier, but it's going to just be so good in these big blobby engagements. And of course, they're really fast, can chase backline stuff, always ready to party. Shadowcaster, Summoners of Rage. Now, these guys are just monsters, and you can, one of the cooler aesthetics in the game for sure, just like sparking lightning and all that, but they have a Chain Lightning bound to them, but you don't start off with it. You actually have to fight for, I think, 60 seconds to get it, but 110, anti-large, magic damage, great melee defense, good leadership, just an incredibly powerful unit, and kind of interchangeable with Chaos Knights. Depends on how you want to use the Chaos Knights. You want to use them to just charge infantry, or do you want to use something to deal with large units, and that's why I brought the Summoners of Rage. That's pretty much it for my army. So I have two of the RORs here, the Demon Spew and the Summoners of Rage. And for my opponent, the mighty Jonton of Total Brohammer, we actually played 5 or 6 games, so you guys will be seeing all of those. And the Fireborn here. So the Fireborn are the Dragon Prince ROR. They have anti-large and are incredibly powerful. Their stats are about 6 and 7 higher respectively for melee attack and melee defense. A little bit expensive, but Jonton and I agreed in all of our games we played not to bring Fated Buna because it kind of... I feel like it's detrimental, especially when you're trying to show off RORs. And even though it did get minor tweaks, which is what I saw on the forums there, I still think it's a little bit strong. And personally, I think it's a little unfun to play with. In the front line here, it looks like he has Spearmen, Swordmasters of Poeth, so some of the OGs you guys have been seeing, and the Pyramid Company. So Pyramid Company are a Armor Sundering kind of improved version of the White Lions. And they have Guardian as well. So if your Lord is taking a beating, you can hide next to them, get a damage resist with physical only. But they're actually pretty good. White Lions normally a little bit soft in my opinion, but these ones really pay for themselves. Swordmaster of Oaths, it looks like he has some Spearmen on the outside. And this is his bread and butter here, Sisters of Averlorn. So fire damage, magic damage, heavy AP, good range. And that was always the issue. When I used to play, I consider myself a Chaos main. And when I would play against the High Elves, I felt so confident. I was like, how are they going to kill Kolek? They have to come fight him in melee. Because High Elf Archers can't really deal with the armor traditionally, but that is not the case. So he brought Teclis for nets, most likely, and the Everqueen's Court. So he has a ton of stopping power as well as an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. So Kolek's definitely in for a little bit of trouble. So let's get this battle rolling. So on the far side, you can see that Jonton is going to be skirmishing a little bit with his Reavers, looking for an opportunity probably to pick off some Hounds, because Reavers can beat Hounds pretty soundly and quickly. So as such, I'm playing a little bit conservative, just getting my Poison Hounds and my Summoners of Rage are just kind of scurrying over the hill here, looking for an opportunity to maybe pick those guys off. But Jonton has very, very good micro, so nothing's going to be free in this world. So in the meantime, it looks like he's going to take advantage of my exposed flank here, so he does get these Fireborn here. In the meantime, though, the Fireborn did come in to deal with my Marauder, so, generally in fighting and boxing or any other sport or combat, you want to, when you're going to take one, you want to give one back afterwards. So I also had my Hounds hiding in the trees here, so I then pull them in and probably going to get that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. But Jonton just going to get a great charge here, the Fireborn coming up the hill. Looks like it was a little bit of sometimes when you go up a hill or you issue the order a little bit too late, the charge doesn't go in quite as well, but regardless, the Fireborn are going to do pretty well against some Marauders. So in the meantime, I do get an overcasted Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, which does magic damage, hence circumventing their resistances, and Kolek's going to be coming over as well, so he should be able to pick off a couple of those guys. In the back, the Poison Hounds have gotten on the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, but this is what I really want to show you guys. So very well played by Jontan. He realized that I was being a little bit reckless with my Shadowcaster, so all I'm literally going to get this game is going to be a single Shadowcast. And look at him, he's just being illuminated with Purging Light. And I think that's actually the lore, that the arrows that the Sisters of Averlorn and all these guys fire is they actually like purge corruption within the person they're shooting. So it's definitely going to be effective against this Chaos Sorcerer. And you can see the Sisters as well as the ROR Everqueen are shooting in there, and that 90 armor means nothing. So very well played to Jontan. He just melts me, and that was a really rough start to the game. But regardless, you can see in the front line, the Chosen are in a bit of a grind fest here, and it seems like they're getting the upper hand. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty substantial difference. And I mean, the one advantage Swordmasters have is probably going to be their anti-infantry bonus. But man, these Chosen are just tanking these Swordmasters of Hoeth. But on other fronts, you can see the the Pure Main Company are going to be laying a smackdown on my Chaos Warriors, and it's really nice to see White Lions actually do really well. Like, they're just dumpstering these Chaos Warriors. It is brutal. On the far side of the map, you can see that he's getting some really good fire. Again, getting a bit of a pocket. But what he did is he pushed his spears up from the front line to screen out all my pressure here, and I was able to find a pocket here. So my Marauders and Demon Spew and all these guys are going to be getting in and attacking the Sisters of Averlorn, who do have 50 melee defense. They can beat Marauders one-on-one, but now that the Demon Spear are coming in, it's going to be tough. But a very good retaliation from Jontan coming in with those large units. But Kolek is in the cookie jar. So you can see Dad is home, and he's going to just start taking these guys to town, just crushing these Everqueen's Court. And kind of the general overarching strategy of this game was like, I knew that if I could kill the Fireborn and the two Sisters, I would be in pretty good shape. So right now, I split up my Hound, send one over the top here, and I send these guys in this area right here. So he only had one group of Spearmen to decide where he wanted to defend, so this is going to be quite a good situation for me. So Kolek is getting attacked by the Fireborn here, so anti-large, not the best AP still, but the anti-large bonus is really going to help. So at this point, I knew this was going to rapidly become a very dangerous area. He had his Everqueen's Court, he had Spears, Fireborn, so I run to my pocket of power, and you can see Kolek's going to come in here and just give these guys the business, most likely. So Kolek's still very powerful. Man, he's just definitely a staple of competitive Chaos play, in my opinion. But I do get my Hounds around the back. I get one group on the Everqueen's Court, and honestly, if I can just pick away one or two at a time, do some damage, and keep them from firing at Kolek, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So we do shut down the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which had been shooting at, some of my Summoners of Rage and other targets, so definitely nice to get that off the battlefield. And right now, the balance of power is just pretty even. If anything, maybe slightly in Jontan's favor, because he did kill my caster a little bit earlier. But the Chaos Infantry are really starting to just pay dividends. You can see the Chosen just monster mashing these Swordmasters of Hoeth, and also able to finish off that other group for the most part, although it looks like that was a bit of a wash there. But taking out those elite troops is going to be very nice. In the meantime, I'm just trying to shut down those archers and other troops, like I said, and it is just a monster mash here. You can see the Fireborn coming in, who are a very good answer to the Summoners of Rage, but it's going to be an atrocious trade because Summoners of Rage do magic damage. So the defensive stats of the Fireborn aren't really going to come into effect. They have really good physical resist and obviously good stats, but this Shaggot squad right here is doing a lot of good work. Summoners of Rage are up to 40 kills right now, definitely paying their dues. In the front line, we still have a couple Chosen fighting, down to the wire here. And the Pure Main Company is just really, really solid this match. 72 kills, barely taken any damage. And right now they're providing Guardian to Teclis, letting him fight against these Chosen a little bit more effectively. So I really like seeing some of those new RORs in action. Right here you can see Kolek Suneater is just going to be surrounded by spears, but he has the support of the Demon Spew, the Nurgle Regiment of Renown of Forsaken. I really hope that's correct. But of course they're going to lower the melee defense of these spears even lower than it already is. Because it's low to start with. I think it's like 22. So they're able to tear it out and just overrun those guys. And the Demon Spew are up to 79 kills, which is very solid. And, the main key to success in this game is really to just apply constant pressure to these Sisters, because they are the only thing that can really, melt Kolek. And thankfully, we're able to get on them really, really quickly. So you've seen that the Mountain God has been running pretty rampant here, but definitely paying for themselves, getting rid of not only my caster, and, from a fiscal standpoint, yes, that's very cool, but they were also able to eliminate my magic. So I literally only got like one Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. I didn't get any Enfeebling Foes or anything good, so it was really depressing for sure. But the Summoners of Rage in here just going fisticuffs with the High Elves, and I think they're going to be one of the Swords of Chaos. You guys probably remember them. I really think the Summoners of Rage are probably better, and I think Swords of Chaos got some pretty substantial nerfs to their stats, and you can see, look at that, how they all do that in unison. That is so cool. So I had a little, not Winds of Magic, but I had the charge finally, so I try and get a Chain Lightning back here. You can't cast it right in front of them, so I cast it here. It picks off a couple of those retreating knights and some of these spearmen, and buys me some time to escape here with the Summoners, which is quite good. So Bounce Power for the first time in the game is coming in my favor here, and you can see that the Mighty Mountain God just just trouncing over these Pure main company right here, getting some pretty good damage, but very resilient. And are they immune to psychology? I don't think they are. But you can also see they're afflicted by the Cloud of Flies from the Nurgle Forsaken, and it looks like they're going to be shaken off here. As far as the remnants of Jonton's forces, he has some Spearmen, he has some Fireborn here, he also has Teclis kind of on the hunt, but I have a lot of elite troops left, and honestly, Kolek might even be able to solo most of this, although I guess with the Fireborn and Teclis healing them, that could be a little bit tough, but he is in very, very good shape here. So right now, I'm just trying to catch Teclis. You can see the Fireborn coming in. Of course, the Hounds are infantry size, so it's not going to be as bad for me. The Kolek, of course, is designed to kill these guys. You can see he takes out 2 of them. And the Summoners of Rage are just hunting Teclis, who's, it looks like he's trying to hunt down and go after my Chaos Marauders, which is probably not a bad idea at all. So Summoners just pushing forward. There are some Sisters of Averlorn. These are actually the Everqueen's court. So these are the RORs just shooting their plasma bows over there at my Summoners, and honestly, still doing a little bit of damage, despite how tattered they are. So right here, Jonton's able to get some Spearmen and form a bit of a defensive pocket, but the Summoners of Rage. Did you guys see that? That was like just the armor of the guy. It looks like he got erased from existence there, but at this point, it's pretty much just going to be clean up here. You can see the Summoners pushing around. Right now, Kolek's going to be going after Teclis. We basically were just like, yeah, it's pretty much over. Let's fight to the death. But very well played to Jonton of Total Brohammer. If you haven't, make sure to check out his channel that he runs with his buddy Sakarma. And yeah, it was good. I mean, even losing our caster really early, we were able to get some really good flanking action and just kind of penetrate that back line. And I ultimately think that was the key to success. Yeah, the Sisters of Averlorn did really well initially, but as soon as they killed the casters, we found pockets and were able to pressure them. So I think had there been a little bit more defensive utility back there in the back line, because the Chosen just occupied these troops, and I don't think he had enough to defend the Sisters plus his artillery piece, but the Fireborn did really well. The Pure Main Company, someone that I'm really looking forward to seeing in action, but they were incredibly solid, so I really liked that quite a bit. So very well played to Jonton, and guys, we played like 5 or 6 games, and we're going to be playing more, so you guys will be seeing all of those on the channel. We basically, yeah, I don't want to give you guys spoilers, but there were some really, really good games. So thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you soon.